how to cut out vinyl with our brother ScanNCut. That is what we'll be learning today. We are continuing on our Back to Basics series. My name is Courtney Douthat. This is AllBrands After Hours. Let's do this. The first thing you need to know about vinyl, in my opinion, is that there are two different kinds. So there are variations of those kinds, but really two different kinds. You've got heat transfer vinyl. So say you wanted to put it on a shirt, like this cute little lion shirt that I made with heat transfer glitter vinyl. Or there's pressure sensitive vinyl, like how you would put on a cup or something like this. So the easiest thing I do is when I first look at some vinyl, I'm like, okay, what kind do I need? Pressure sensitive or heat transfer vinyl. So HTV or PSVs, you might hear it called. So if I want to put something on a shirt, well, I'm going to apply heat to it. So I'm going to apply an iron to it or a heat press it down. Well, that kind of vinyl I would want to do heat transfer vinyl. But what if I want to put it on a cup? Well, I don't want to apply heat to this cup because it's not that kind of cup. Well, then I would want pressure sensitive vinyl. There are different vinyls out there that you can apply heat to on cups and stuff like that. But really for the basics of it all, pressure sensitive and heat transfer. So like this cute little box that I made my son, a little crayon box that I made him, I wouldn't want to put heat to this. So I did pressure sensitive vinyl. And pressure sensitive vinyl is like a sticker. Where heat transfer vinyl, you actually have to heat up the glue on the back of it to really get it to seep in. So we're going to play with both. That way you can kind of get an understanding of it. And some really cool features that are exclusive for ScanNCut for while you're doing your vinyl. I've done a lot of shows on how to use vinyl, which you're like, Courtney, that's not vinyl. We actually did wood burning with our ScanNCut, and it was fantastic. And I used pressure sensitive vinyl to make the template. So, or like our giant Santa board that we made on the show. Now these are some older shows and they do save on our YouTube channel. And this was actually a Santa board so you can put your cookies and milk and all that fun stuff for when Santa comes. And this is made out of pressure sensitive vinyl. So again, that show is it's saved onto our YouTube channel. So when you think vinyl, don't just think something small. You can do bigger things. Now, if it's your first time doing vinyl, I recommend to do something small. So something simple, like I have this Mickey Mouse right here that I cut out. And this is actually on heat transfer. So there's this little clear sheet that's on there that keeps it all together so you can put it onto whatever you want. Now, there are tons of vinyl designs. Most designs in the machine, let me put these to the side, in the machine can be used as a pressure sensitive or heat transfer design. So it doesn't have to be either or. You could use either of them to cross them over however you prefer, or you can go online and purchase design, or you can get the design for free like on Art Spirit Brothers app, or there's some paid ones too for the subscription. But there's so much. I usually recommend for the first one that you're doing, go ahead and pick something out of your machine. It's so easy and they already have it broken down into parts. So let's jump in our machine and let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm gonna go to pattern, and then I'm gonna go into, you know what, let's do a Disney one, just because I do have an SDX 330, which is the Disney model, which you can only buy these in a retail store, like AllBrands, we sell these in our stores, or if you wanna get the online version, which is the SDX 325, you can get that on our website, allbrands.com. So I'm gonna select in the designs, and I wanna come down, because there's one that I'm thinking of that I've done before and I really like. Oh, excuse me. I love her bow. Let's grab her bow. All right, so there's Minnie's bow. We can change it to whatever size we want. We can make it large or smaller, whatever we want. I'm gonna hit okay. And now it breaks down the pieces. Now, do you notice it's giving us the background piece, so just the outline for the white part, and then it's giving us this pink part that we can cut out that already has the holes cut out, and then you can see the back part of it, and then it's giving us the black part that we lay on top of that. So it's fantastic, and they really break it down into the parts that it's supposed to be laid. So A is supposed to be first because it's going to be the white background, and then it's going to be pink on top of that, and then the black on top of that. So it layers them in that way. Now, I've already done this design before because it's absolutely adorable, and so it looks like this whenever you do it, and this is pressure sensitive vinyl. And don't worry, we'll do it again together. But that's the part, and then that way, so this white part, that first part is what's underneath. So that way you can peel it off of the backing and it's one giant sticker for you. So pressure sensitive vinyl is this. So if I wanted to peel that off and just again have it as that one piece, I can't. So that's why they had the white part just be the background. So you can have one solid piece. And then you cut out the pink and then you cut out the black, and it's already broken down. So I love the designs inside the machine because they already break it apart for you. So it just makes it so much easier. Now you could scan something in because we have ScanNCuts and turn any of them into a vinyl design if you wanted to. But again, the built-in designs are nice and the built-in editing is really nice. So let's go ahead, we're gonna select that first part and hit OK. All right, and hit set, and it's gonna set it on our mat for us. So for pressure sensitive vinyl, that's all you have to do. It's fantastic. So I'm gonna hit add, and I can come grab the pink part, because what I like to do is actually, if I can, just go ahead and put it all on my mat and then move it away from each other, so that way I can put the different vinyls on my mat and just cut them all out at once. It's fantastic. So I'm gonna hit add, and I'm gonna grab that last piece for me. Now, if you do notice, there is another piece where it's all the layers together. I don't want that for this, but they do give you that option. So I'm gonna hit OK, set, there it goes. There's our last part. And I'll bring her down here, and then that way I can just cut them all out at once. It's so fast and easy. All right, so I have a standard mat here. Usually with pressure sensitive vinyl, it's got a paper backing on it, so I usually would want to put it to a low tack mat, which is your blue mat. However, or teal, or whatever you want to call it. However, this mat has seen better days. So once your mats become very less sticky, you can't just put it on a standard. All right, so I've got my vinyls here. They are cut, you know, generically. I love using up pieces because sometimes you only need a little bit of a certain piece of vinyl. So I like to use up pieces whenever I am cutting up different vinyls. So I'm gonna go ahead and cheat and kind of put my vinyl in a general area. So you know how I had the white up in the side, so I'm gonna put the white on my mat like that. There we go. And I do like to use a brayer tool. If you've never used a brayer tool, it's like a little mini steamroller. I'm grabbing mine. There we go. Little mini steamroller that just wants to make sure that vinyl actually sticks down, because we don't want anything moving on our mat, because that's when it messes up our cut. So there we go. I think the pink was over here on this side. So I'm kind of roughly putting them where they go. Not being super exact, but I am being, you know, rough. And then my black, where is she? Oh, towards the bottom over here. Go. And again, I love putting down the multiple colors. Just get it all done. Unless it's a huge design and I can't put on my mat at, you know, all the pieces at once, then yeah, totally split them up. But it is kind of nice just to get them all done at once. All right, so let's go ahead and we're gonna load this in our machine. And I love being able to scan in my material. It's so easy. It's this little tool right here. And this is gonna let me scan in. Let's hit start. This is going to let me scan in and see in color what's available to me on my mat, which is so nice. That way I can make sure, oh, was my vinyl piece big enough, or was this big enough? Everything like that. So that way I don't cut it and then realize after the fact, oh no, it wasn't laid correctly or anything like that. So it's fantastic to have a built-in scanner. And there it is! How cool is that? So if I'm like, oh, you know what, maybe this should move down, maybe this should move here, I could change it and make sure that I'm absolutely in that area. So even for the black, if I touched it like that, it puts a box around it. Now you can lighten your scan by hitting the wrench icon and then coming right here. So background, you could lighten it or turn it off if you wanted to. And there it goes. So you can see it even better. I like a darker scan, but some people don't. And so that is a-okay, whatever your preferences are. All right, so let's go ahead. We're gonna hit okay. Please select. And then saying, hey, do you want to cut? Do you want to drop? Do you want to emboss? Do you want to foil? We want to cut. All right, there she goes. Now, before we do anything, there is a special little tool that the ScanNCut does, and that is called half cut. So since that vinyl is two parts, you remember it's got that paper backing on there, we don't want to cut through that paper backing. We actually want it to stay. So I just want to cut through the vinyl part of it. So I need to hit this wrench icon, scroll down one, and turn half cut on. There's also a weeding box that you can put around it. So say you're using a big piece of vinyl and you're cutting out a bunch of names for like a class project or something, you could put a weeding box around each one of them, which makes it easier to weed. Now I'm just using up scrap materials, so for me, it doesn't make sense, but that option is there. All right, so I'm gonna hit okay. There we go, and everything's ready. Now, Courtney, what blade do I use? So there are two different blades that you can use in this situation. One of them is the black auto blade. So this always comes with your ScanNCut. That can absolutely be used to cut vinyl. It works fantastic. But there is the vinyl blade, which is the blue blade. This never comes with any ScanNCuts. This is only available separately in a kit. Now, if you're not going to do a ton of vinyl, then always say the black blade will do you just fine. This is just your regular auto blade. However, if you are going to do a lot of vinyl, then I highly recommend to look into the kits for the vinyl blade. And of course, I have those linked down below, and you can absolutely get them from AllBrands because we do carry them. There's a Disney version and a regular version. The only difference is one of them comes with extra Disney designs where the other one doesn't. They both come with the same blade. So again, you can purchase that through AllBrands, and we truly appreciate when you guys do purchase through us because we are the ones providing this free education. So all right. I'm going to use my vinyl blade because I do have it. Now again, the black auto blade could do you just fine, but the vinyl blade just does it better. It just does better on like more intricate cuts as well. All right, so everything looks great. Let's hit start. There we go. Here she comes. She's going to come over. She's going to test the material, and she's actually going to figure out, okay, where does the first part start? Where does the next part start? And then that way she doesn't cut through that paper backing. It's fantastic. Oh, here she goes. Look, she goes. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, I love it. I have a bad habit of touching the mat when she's... Keep your hands away from the thing, all right? Especially if you're new, you might see my hands go near it. Don't do that, okay? Do as I say, not as I do situation. All right, here she goes. Do you see where she's cutting out the circles for the bow? Do you hear how quiet she does? It's kind of insane. I feel like I need to whisper for her. It's so quiet when it cuts. Done. All right, so there she is. She is done, and I'm ready to weed. If you've never weeded anything before, it's just taking out the parts that you don't want, so that way you can leave the parts you do want. So here's our vinyl right here, ready to be weeded. Now, I usually prefer my brother weeding tool. It just works better, and I don't know what I did with it. I think I might have left it at a show. I'm so sad. I'll link it. That way you guys can see. I absolutely love my brother weeding tool. This one is just a generic one I found offline, and it's kind of flimsy. But anyways, all right, so usually what I do is when I'm weeding the different vinyls, I like to leave them on my mat so that way they're flat. You know, she's already wanting to pop up a little bit because usually we store vinyl, you know, in the rolls, so it wants to pop up. So sometimes leaving it on the mat is just nice because then it keeps it flat and it's easier to weed, especially if it's a really intricate design. So I like to start somewhere off in the corner where I know that my design is not. So that way I can kind of be a little bit more rough with it, you know, get that paper separated from the vinyl without, you know, messing up or damaging my design. Okay, so I'm gonna pull away the outside that I don't want, and that's gonna leave me all the parts I do want. So remember, this was the outline of Minnie's bow. And there she is. Oop, there we go, I took that one with it. So usually I'm pretty careful about this because this is sticky. So I don't want to accidentally stick onto something I don't want to stick onto. So usually I'm pretty careful whenever I'm doing this. So let's move on. We're going to do this one. And so again, I like to start off in a corner that I know my design is not. All right, now this is we're going to be very careful because if you notice, this part's sticky. And so sometimes if it's a super intricate design, I'll come in with scissors and clip off pieces so that way I'm not just sitting here with a bunch of sticky stuff in my hand. But if you're super careful, it should just come right off. All right. All right, now you saw where it broke in a few areas? So I've got a whole vinyl ball over here. Let's keep adding to it. That's because I was pulling in two opposite directions and it was like, oh, what do I do? So now I can come over, pull off like this, like that. I know it feels like we're wasting so much vinyl, but that is unfortunately what you have to do when you make a very big design. You can usually save little bits. Like these little circles that I'm about to pull out, if I was super careful with them, then yeah, I could have saved them and used them somewhere else, but I probably won't be super careful and I'll probably just rip knowing me, but that is something to keep in mind. There we go. So do you see why the picker tool is so nice? Because I can't get my fingernails. I mean, I could try to get my fingernails into here to get these little circles, but I could just take that sharp picker tool and then just pull to get under there. And then you could, of course, do it with your nails if you want to. but you could also just pull up the whole thing that way. There we go. There we go. I love being able to weed this stuff out. It's kind of relaxing. It's a little therapeutic. It's fun. All right, we're gonna come over here, get this one out. There we go. All right, so that's now weeded. How cute. So I'm gonna put her over here with the white one. And then our last one we have left to do is our little black outline. So again, we're gonna come to a quarter we know our design is not. So right over here, start it off. There we go. Ball that up, put it over here. There we go. And then we're gonna take out the insert. Because remember, this was like a really cool little black outline all the way around our design. There we go. All right, get the center part. How nice is that coming up? There we go. All right, boom, there's our part. Now, Courtney, these are all in individual pieces. What are we gonna do with this? And also, hi, ball of vinyl. But what do we do with this? How did you get that to be this? How did we get there? Well, what you do is you actually use a thing called transfer sheets. So this is transfer. Usually it comes in a roll, just like how your vinyl comes in a roll. There are different brands that you can get. I personally do like the Brothers brand. This is Brothers. It works very well in my opinion. So we're gonna start with our base. So our white right here. You know, I can slip that right in there and it's gonna stay. All right, so our white's gonna be our bottom base. The next thing to go on top of that will be our pink and then our black on there. So let's stick our white there. And we're gonna take our transfer right here. We're going to peel it off because it does have a sticky background and it has this really cool grid to help you line up. This is helpful whenever you're doing letters. So we're going to put it on top of the pink vinyl, boop, like that. I like to leave a little overhang that touches my table. It's just easier. All right. And then you're gonna wanna take a scraper tool. I love my scraper tool and I really need to find it. But that way we can kind of scrape. So I'm gonna use the spatula to do it, but man, that scraper tool is fantastic. And again, I'll have it linked down below. Guys, I have everything linked down below. I even have a bundle. I don't know if you guys know this. I have a bundle. It's a bundle that I have that's called like the Get Started bundle. It's Courtney's Get Started bundle, and usually it's the bundle that I recommend to buy whenever you're just starting off with ScanNCut. So it has like the brayer tool, the scraper tools, all the different things that I recommend. It's in this bundle. So I'll have that link down below too, guys. It's fantastic. This is gonna be so cute. All right, so what we're doing right now is we're kind of just encouraging that vinyl to get off of that paper backing and go onto the transfer. All right. I like to reverse weed. It's a thing with me. And all reverse weeding is whenever you turn it around. I feel like I'd rather the sticky thing be down here than up in the air. So I like to do it this way. And then we just peel off that paper backing. Now, if you ever have some paper that wants to stay, that's okay. Just keep pulling and then you can always pick that off later with our picking tool. That just means my vinyl's starting to expire a little bit. That's okay. There we go. All right. She's sticky. And then I can just go back here after the fact and get all that paper off of there. That just means like your vinyl has an expiration date. And sometimes it might start losing a little stick or the paper might start going funny on it and the paper might be hard to get off of it. That just means it's coming to the end of its life and that's a-okay. You can still use it. You just have to do a few extra steps. So don't throw vinyl out. Keep using it. All right, there she is. So now it's on its transfer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to look to see about laying it on here. Now it is clear, that transfer, so it's easy to put on there, but a little hack that I love to do is the parchment hack. What the parchment hack is actually taking some parchment, cutting it to generally that size, and that allows you to be able to lay it when it's not sticky on there and kind of, you know, have a little bit more wiggle room. So I'm just gonna cut off a piece of parchment like this. I'm going to lay it on my design where a little bit is poking off. So if you notice, there you go. This part doesn't have parchment, the rest of it does. So that way I can move it around on my design a little bit easier and nothing's sticking. But then when I'm ready for it to stick, then I can stick it down. So I'm going to go ahead, just line it up. And again, I can see through that parchment. Even though it's white, I can still see through it, so that way I can line up correctly. So I feel like I've lined it up really well, so I'm gonna go ahead, and that part that it didn't have parchment, I'm gonna lay it down on there now. And then we're going to flip it up. And then I'm gonna pull the parchment off as I'm laying that vinyl down. Like that. Now, again, having the scraper tool is awesome because then you can go and get any bubbles out if you feel like there's any bubbles or anything like that. All right, so once we have, I wish I had my scraper tool, I miss it. But once you have that, you can go ahead and take that transfer off. And you can keep reusing this transfer over and over and over again until it's not sticky anymore. So I always keep that paper backing that it came off of, so that way I can always put it back on if I need to. Ooh, there's so many bubbles. I need my scraper tool so badly. All right, so fantastic. Now we've got that part on there. We can go ahead and put our next part, which would be our black part right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay that same bit of transfer down on there. And again, scraper tool would be great. But I'm just gonna do it with my spatula real fast. The scraper tool it's such a bigger area, especially if you're doing really big designs. It's fantastic to have. I love it. I'm just gonna need to buy myself a new one. I can't go without it this long. All right, we're gonna flip it over like how we did before, because again, I love reverse weeding. Now, if you feel like, okay, I'm pulling it and it's not wanting to, you could always just use your fingernail to like push it down a little bit. And make it like start wanting to weed out, and then usually the rest of it will go. But just pull gently because you don't want to accidentally pull too hard and like say this piece right here gets pulled out in the wrong way and then it breaks or, you know, hurts our design in any kind of way. There we go. Fantastic. So cute. Oh, it's cute. Again, I like to use the parchment hack again. It's just easy and you can keep using the same piece of parchments. All right. I'm gonna put all the vinyl in here because I do have this extra bit that holds it down. I just like to leave a little extra of that transfer to push down whenever I'm like, oh, okay, I'm right where I want to be. All right, we're going to do the same thing to encourage it. All right, there we go. And we're gonna bring it over to our design. Now you see how I can see through it. You can see a little bit easier on camera, I'm sure, than you could see the white, which I could see the white in person, but I'm sure that was hard to see on camera, sorry. All right, so I'm gonna line it up where I think that it should go. All right, I think this is perfect. So again, I'm gonna push down that transfer so it's sticking to the table. And then I can just, it's like a little window. It's like a little window. I can pull that back and then put it this way with the transfer not being underneath it. Now this is where it would, again, it's really nice having my scraper because while I'm pulling that parchment, I'm over here making sure things are staying as I'm pulling. So this hand is pulling the parchment, this one is pushing it on down. Ta-da! Oh, look how cute! Oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. So this one was a little bit darker vinyl. Do you like the lighter pink or do we like the darker pink? Let me know in the comments. All right, there we go. Now we can take the transfer off. You could leave it on there. So I've saw some people when they sell their vinyl design, they leave that transfer on there so it's easier for their customers. You know, they don't just send it like this. They send it with that transfer still on there so their customers know to peel off that paper backing and then transfer it to wherever they want before they take it off. But it's up to you. So again, I could leave mine on this backing and then take the whole thing off like a sticker if I had wanted to, or I could leave it on the backing. So I have this clipboard right here that's really cute. So I could actually put this on the back of the clipboard. That would be so cute. Especially if you wanted to give a teacher's gift or something like that. You know, I could put it right over the sticker. You'd never see the sticker. There we go. All right, so I'm going to peel away that paper backing. Peel away that paper backing. And that way it all stays on that transfer. Like a big giant sticker. Here we go. Here we go. All right, so there we go. So I'm going to, can I lay this over the sticker where you don't even see it? I can, that's kind of fun. So I'm gonna go ahead, and again, special, scraper would have been great. Scraper would have been great. So we're just encouraging it now to go on this. And we take the transfer off. How cool is that? And again, I like to put my transfer back onto this reusable item, or the reusable backing. And there it is. How cool is that? So then I can add these decals to anything I want with pressure sensitive vinyl. I could have made this a wall decal. Oh, for a little girl's room and just like little mini bows everywhere. Like, or a decal for your car. How fun. Disney bound. Awesome. So very, very cute. And again, you could just leave it like this on the backing for a giant sticker, or you could leave that topper on there if you're giving this as a gift, or if you're selling these, you could do that, and either of them would be great. And again, the designs in the machine, if you notice this bow is a little bit smaller than this one, you can resize it to whatever sizes you want. So you can resize. All right, let's go into our next one. Next, we're gonna do heat transfer vinyl. Now, heat transfer vinyl, it doesn't have a paper backing on it, but it does have a clear sheet like this. So if you notice this is a design I cut out of heat transfer vinyl, and it's got this clear part on it. So you would think that this is the vinyl. It's not. This is the vinyl, and this is actually the glue on the back of it that you heat up to be able to heat it down onto a shirt or whatever you're wanting to put your heat transfer vinyl to. So this clear part acts like that carrier sheet, that transfer, like how the other transfer that we used worked. But this one already has it built in. How fantastic is that? So you don't have to buy anything separately to be able to help get it to whatever you need it to get it to. The clear transfer is built in, which again, half cut, if you notice it didn't go all the way through there, half cut is fantastic to be able to do this. I'm gonna come home, there we go, and I'm gonna go to pattern and go back and get that same design. So look, we're gonna use the same one. Oop, there she is. There we go. And I'm gonna shrink her down. All right, love that. Let's hit OK. And again, it breaks down all the parts for me. So I'm gonna lay those all on my mat, because you know how easy and amazing it is just to lay them on my mat and just cut them all out at once. Okay, last part. Here we go. Now, something with heat transfer vinyl is you need to flip your design, because we're gonna flip our vinyl right here. So the vinyl is actually going to be shining side down, because we want to keep a hold of that transfer. Remember, that brings it on over into whatever we want it to. So we don't want to cut through that. So we don't, this little transfer part, we don't want to cut through that. So we actually cut it out flipped. So technically backwards. So let's say that we have Mickey Mouse right here. Well, if I flip him, he looks the exact same. If I flip him, he looks the same. But if I had a name, so say my name Courtney, if I flipped it, well then you're gonna notice if it's backwards, because it's gonna read wrong. So for Minnie's ears, or for Minnie's bow, it doesn't really matter. But what if it did matter to me? What if I'm like, no, I really want it facing one way? What you would do is I'm gonna come to edit, right here, object edit, and then this tool right here is how we flip. So if you notice, let me do it again. Boop, boop. It's like I'm making it dance. So I've flipped it. So I could select this one, flip it, this one, and flip it. So now it's all facing the other way. And that's all you have to do. So I'm going to bring this down, bring this one over, like how we did before, so I can put multiple on my mat, and go ahead and hit OK. Okay. Now again, we could scan it in, so once my vinyl is on my mat, I could scan in. You don't have to if you don't want to, but it is a fantastic tool. But I'm gonna go ahead and select OK. Please select, and I wanna cut. There's nothing different that you need to do to say it's pressure sensitive vinyl or heat transfer vinyl. Half cut's already on, and that's just all vinyls. But you don't have to say, hey, I'm using this type of vinyl or this kind of material. That's it. You always just tell it half cut. And then for everything else, turn half cut off. That's all you have to do. You don't have to tell your machine exactly what you're cutting out or what the material is or anything like that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put my vinyl down. Now, for heat transfer vinyl, I actually really do like the standard mat for it. Yes, you could use the low-tack mat, but I just feel like the standard mat always does it well. So I personally like to use my standard mat for heat transfer vinyl. All right, there we go. Again, grabbing my brayer tool because I love her. It's just like a mini steamroller, especially when your mat's starting to like die. If you've had it for a long time, it's just not as sticky as it used to be. The steamroller helps. The brayer, I call it a steamroller because that's what it does. We're gonna go ahead and load this into our machine and hit start. All right, so same thing like pressure sensitive vinyl. She's gonna come over. See her? She's dipping down. She's testing of how thick the material is and seeing where she wants to go, and only cutting through one part of it. Guys, when I tell you, this is so easy and so cool to do. So again, you could buy a design online, you could use one in the side machine. The ScanNCut will read multiple formats, so an SVG, FCM, which are cut files, a PES, but that is an embroidery file. If you wanted to do appliques, you absolutely could just bring it on over, and we've done tons of videos on that. But we're focusing on vinyl today. All right, there she goes. How cool is that? It's so fast and so easy. Absolutely love it. Now the thing with heat transfer vinyl, sometimes the cut's so delicate, you're like, did she cut? She did. It's so cool. Like very intricate little bitty cuts. It's wonderful. There she goes. And she's done. All right, go ahead and take her out. All right, there she is. She's cut. Now, very similar to pressure sensitive vinyl, we're gonna weed out the parts that we don't want and leave the parts that we do want. But unlike pressure sensitive vinyl, there's nothing sticky about this. So there's nothing sticky on the vinyl itself because we haven't heated up the glue and activated it with something hot. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's do first our little white piece over here. So again, I like to use my picker tool. I come to where I know the design is not, and then I just start picking at it to pull it up and separate it from that transfer. Okay, so we've got it started, and then I'm just going to pull, pull, pull. Go. Go. Now, if you hear the sticky noise, that's the mat, not the vinyl. There's nothing sticky, again, about that vinyl. Go. All right, there we go. We've got the white part. Now let's move over to the pink. And again, starting where I know my design is not, because I don't want to accidentally nick my design in any kind of way, especially, you know, it's a sharp tool. There we go. Oh, this is glitter. Oh, that's nice. Oh, I love weeding out glitter vinyl. It just comes off together. It's so good. So again, we're gonna poke out these little bitty inner parts. Oop. Here's my vinyl. Go. Go. I would say, in my opinion, glitter vinyl is the easiest to weed. I'll say it. For me. I know some people would disagree. Those people are wrong. No, I'm just kidding. All right. All right. Last but not least. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me take this off of the mat so you can see it. How cool is that? Like this one, too. This one has a little bit of a pink iridescent. It wasn't a true white. I wanted to see what it looked like. All right, last one is regular. So this one was like iridescent-y. This one was glitter, and then this one is just regular, regular vinyl, regular heat transfer vinyl. Okay, there we go. Oh, I could have used a smaller piece of vinyl. I wasted a good bit. Whoopsie. This was a scrap though, so it's not that bad. Look how funny is it? Like it feels so weird. I don't know. There we go. All right, now we're just gonna weed out the inside parts just like how we did for our pressure sensitive one. There she is. There we go. Inside part. How relaxing is this? It's kind of fun. There we go. Now, of course, the more complicated the design is, the longer it's going to take to weed out, but honestly, it's just kind of fun to do. I enjoy it, personally. If you can't tell. I enjoy all of this. All right, there we go. Making sure nothing is staying on here, no bits of vinyl that poked off, anything like that, because once we heat it down, that will be heated down as well. All right, and we're gonna take it off of our mat. There we go. It's so good. All right, so now we have all of our bits on here. Here we go. I'm gonna put them like this because this part is sticky. This transfer is sticky because that's what was holding the vinyl. But once we put it down on our item and heat it down, that comes off. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my iron right here. All right, so I'm gonna put down my wool mat. If you guys have never seen the wool mat, I absolutely love this thing because it's like a little tabletop ironing situation for me. And then of course my Oliso MP3 Pro that I love, it is my project iron. They literally call it the project iron. And so I'm gonna take this little tote bag that I've been adding things to. So thank you, Barbara Jones, again for this really, really cute tote bag of our mascot, Allie the alligator. If you didn't know, this is our mascot. And on the previous show, I made patches. So I'm gonna keep adding to this because I think it'd be really cute. And it's just be all these fun things that I've made. So I feel like we should add to it. Do we put it right here? Do we put it right here? I feel like I kind of want to put it right here. I feel like it would fill this spot up really nicely. All right, so the first bit is going to be the white little part. Yeah, look how nice that fills up that area. I feel like it was made for it because I thought about right here, but I don't know. I feel like it fills up this area. Let's do this. So usually when I'm doing heat transfer vinyl, I actually like to take my iron and I like to heat up that area first. Because then that way it's kind of like it's getting ready for it and I don't have any wrinkles or anything like that. So she's getting ready for it. Now she's all hot because we want to activate that glue that's on the back of this vinyl to make sure that it gets all nice and gooey and wants to stick to whatever we're putting it on. So I'm going to go ahead and put my piece down. Oh, this is going to be so cute. Look at that. It's so cute. All right. And then I like to take a piece of extra fabric. Now there are proper pressing mats or pressing sheets, and I'll of course link those for you, but most of the time I just use a piece of old fabric that I don't truly care about. It's just a piece of random fabric in between my iron and this because this transfer is plastic and I don't want to put any heat to that because it's going to shrink up and possibly go onto my iron. Now Courtney, I've seen online where people sell all these different irons that they recommend for vinyl and they're just putting theirs straight onto the plastic. My philosophy is if that iron is not hot enough to really melt that plastic, that transfer, that clear part, and get stuck to your iron, it's probably not hot enough to properly heat up that vinyl in my opinion. So I'm going to put pressure down on this iron, not only just high heat, but I am going to put some pressure to activate that glue and really make it want to adhere onto my tote bag. Now, again, you can do it with an iron. I have a heat press, so a lot of times I'll just do this on my heat press, but it's 100% up to you. If you're doing a business, then of course I always recommend to get an actual heat press because not only is it giving the high heat that it wants to activate that vinyl, it's giving it that pressure. And those two combinations together are what's going to make your vinyl last really, really long, if not forever, on whatever you're putting it on. So if I'm doing this as a business, I want to be known as the person who makes very great vinyl designs on a shirt or whatever, and that they last for a really, really long time, even if I'm washing them in the wash. So I'm going to probably invest in a heat press, but you could do it with a hand iron if you want. All right, so different vinyls like to be heat peeled or cold peeled. It really depends on what yours is, and a lot of times it will tell you on the packaging what it prefers. I know this one prefers to be a cold peel, so I'm gonna do this a bunch of times and try to get it to cool down so I can go ahead and pull it off. Because if I didn't, let's show you at the bottom here. If I didn't wait, then you see how it's pulling up, that glue's pulling up? That's because it prefers to be a cold peel. Now you can force it, but you might mess up your design. Like see how I just nicked it a bit? Because I wasn't being patient. So I'm gonna put that down, press it back on there like this. All right. And I'm gonna wait a few seconds to let that cool down. Whew, it is hot. Again, most of the times it'll say it on the packaging what it prefers, but you could always just test a piece of it. My trash can is really far. I got some of that in there. You could just test a little piece of it whenever it's a vinyl you've never used before to see what it prefers if it doesn't say it on the packaging. So again, I usually go, which does nothing, just let it cool down, but I'm impatient, so. All right, so after we pull off that clear part, we're gonna put our next part, which is our pink. So same concept that we did on our pressure sensitive, wherever I put that. somewhere around here. Wherever we did with same concept, we're just layering them on top. But that transfer is already built in with that clear part. So again, that's why half cut is awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling from a corner. I like to go at an angle in case anything does go wrong, then I can easily put it right back down. There we go. All right, so now that's done. That can be thrown away. And I usually do like to put the protective cloth back down, give it one more good peel, just one more good press, just without that topper on there, without that transfer on there, because now it really couldn't get in there without this barrier being in between. So I like to give her one more good press. There we go. Oh my goodness, that's so good. And we're gonna go ahead and do our pink part. Now, unlike pressure sensitive vinyl, this does not matter about using the parchment hack because there's nothing sticky about this. So we can move it, pull it up, rechange it. So there's nothing permanent about it. So you don't have to use the parchment hack on this. And I can see right through it to make sure that it lines up beautifully. There we go. Oh, I'm loving it. There it goes. Oh, it's so cute. All right, so again, protective cloth down. And then we press with a good bit of high heat. Now, if you notice, I'm not ironing. I'm just pushing down. Now, I did in the beginning because it's a habit, but pressing down and making sure you're getting all the different sections. So if I'm doing this section over here, well, here is part of my bow over here that isn't being pressed. So then I make sure later on to press that area. So I'm pressing down, good bit of high heat to be able to activate it. If you're on your press, you would still be doing the same steps in between peeling off the pieces with a protective cloth, because I do recommend a protective cloth even if you're doing it on a heat press, especially if you're doing it on a heat press, because those things are expensive. They're not crazy expensive. I'll link some ones that I recommend. Now, Courtney, how long do we press it for? Well, most of the time until I get bored, but usually just a few minutes will do you. You can't really overheat. I mean, I'm sure you could, but most of the time, a lot of us don't wait until that happens. All right, again, this one likes to be cold peel, so I'll give it a few seconds. But there are some that actually do prefer to be warm peeled. So this one does not care as much as that other vinyl, so I'm not even waiting that long. How cute is she? All right, again, we're going to put that sheet back down. One more little press, just to make sure she's all good in there. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Oh, that's pretty. All right, last bit is going to be our little black part. And again, it's so nice that I can see through this thing. So I can make sure it's perfectly laid on there before I heat it down. Now, Courtney, what if I heated it down and I'm like, oh no, that's not where I wanted it. I wanted it to be different or look different. That's a-okay. You could heat it back up and peel it off. It might not come off completely clean if you just heated it down. Now, if it's been a while, you're probably not getting that back off. And I've tried a few different hacks of how to try to get off vinyl when we want to get it off, and none of them make it come off completely clean. But reheating up the area to activate that glue again, that's going to be your best bet. So be very sure before you heat stuff down. That's the golden rule. Just be very, very sure. All right, there we go. All right, I'm just coming around again, even pressure. Now we use 3 different types of vinyl, which is awesome. Now my favorite brands of vinyl would be Starcraft. Starcraft's really good. I really like that. For pressure sensitive vinyl, I really like Oracle 651's great. Caesar's good as well. I like them, but I've been leaning more towards Oracle 651 and Starcraft vinyl. And they don't know me. They don't have a clue who I am. They don't care. So I don't get any kickback from saying that. All right, there we go. This is, again, probably wants to be a cold peel. Let me think. Let me just see. Yeah, she wants to be cold peeled. Put that down. Put that down. All right, I love that we keep adding to this tote bag. I feel like this is gonna start being our tote bag that we do all of our projects on. Like just adding fun things to it in different textiles. So this is a patch right here that we did on a previous show. This is something that the wonderful lady Barbara Jones that gave me, she did, and it was really, really cool. And then this will be vinyl, and then maybe we could just keep adding on really cool things. Embroidery or appliques, goodness knows what. We always come out with some fun ideas. Oh, I thought it was too soon. It was a little too soon. You saw how that one was a little gummy? It's probably too soon. But now that I've taken it off, I can really put this down and get a really good press of all the materials. So again, that plastic bit right here is not standing in the way of my vinyl in this heat. Now I do not want to put this iron, even with the plastic sheets off, I would not want to put my iron to this vinyl because again, it might get gummy and get stuck to my iron, and I do not want to have to clean my iron or be stuck with a really gummy iron. So, okay. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, with that like a shimmery. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that came out good. That came out so good. Oh, I'm so glad we did that like metallic-y vinyl in the back. Now, there's so many different kinds of heat transfer vinyl out there. There's so many, so you have such a wide variety. There's even printed heat transfer vinyl that you could do. There's pressure sensitive, well, that's printed. But there's so many cool options. Like, oh, that's cool. I'm loving this, if you can't tell, with that glitter too. Now it's very hot, but very, very cool. And again, I'll probably later on press this in my press and just seal it in even better. But this is gorgeous. Now, if your customer or whoever, if your friend ever notices it's peeling up a little bit in an area, that's fine. Tell them just to put a piece of random fabric, a shirt, old shirt, whatever, and heat it back down. It should activate that glue on the back of it to heat it down on there. Should we put this Mickey on there? No, I feel like he should be darker. You can barely see him. So, very cute. So that's how you do heat transfer vinyl and pressure sensitive vinyl, which, how fun, same design. It's just adorable. Which is so easy to do in the ScanNCut with that half cut, being able to scan in your material to use up little bitty scraps, like fantastic, absolutely love it. So let me know down in the comments, are you gonna do some vinyl? Have you done vinyl? Did you realize that it was so easy in the machine to do it? Let me know down in the comments down below. And again, we sell all the different accessories on our website, allbrands.com. And guys, when you guys purchase through us, we truly appreciate it. We are a small mom and pop that, one, just trying to survive, but we are a small mom and pop, and we truly appreciate when you guys do purchase us through us. We're not a big box store. We're just a family doing this, and we truly, truly appreciate you guys. So thank you so much from my family to yours. We truly appreciate you. And also, don't forget that the Brothers ScanNCut is available on our website, allbrands.com. I actually recommend the SDX 325 off of our website. And of course, I have it linked down below, and as well as all the different accessories. Guys, everything's linked down below. Do not worry, I got you. Or you can just go on our website, allbrands.com, and everything's awesome. You can find it on there. Don't forget that I do have that cool little bundle deal that comes with all the different accessories that I recommend for someone starting out. And again, that's linked down below as well. Guys, and if you haven't signed up for AllBrands Academy Baton Rouge, we'll be doing some fun, awesome projects in AllBrands Academy Baton Rouge. So if you have not signed up for that event, what are you waiting for? Sign up for that event. We've got limited spots, so hurry and sign up fast because I don't want you to miss out. We're going to be doing hands-on projects with amazing educators, myself included, on some really awesome machines, so you don't even have to bring your machine. We provide your machine for you. So make sure you guys are signing up for AllBrands Academy Baton Rouge, as well as some of our other awesome things like the Lunch and Learn tour that I'm going on, our mini makers that we're hosting in most of our stores. It's a lot of them. So those will all be linked down as well. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate you guys that have been watching our channel. We are almost at 25,000, which is insane, on our YouTube channel, and I appreciate every time I see you guys purchasing in our store. We have 8 stores now. What? 8 stores in Lafayette, Baton Rouge, Metairie, Bossier City. Did I say Baton Rouge? I'm not sure. Slidell, San Antonio, Houston, and our newest girl in Austin. So we've got so many locations, and we truly appreciate when you guys do come out, hang out with us, and purchase through us. We really, really appreciate it. That's what keeps me being able to do that. So thank you so much. All right, guys, I will see you next week. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because it's the easiest way to let us know that you guys want more of these videos. I'm loving this Back to Basics series. This is great, because honestly, I wish I had this when I first started out. And I see we have a lot of new friends on here, and we want to make sure that they're jumping in, having fun, learning their machine, and joining our fun craft that we do. So put all your recommendations for a Back to Basics series. Which one should we do next? We did vinyl. We've done cutting fabric, but if I have to, I will go over it again if we need to. We've done quilting, but I can't always do it again. So let me know, what do we want to see? Back to Basics. I'm loving this. And when I say Back to Basics, I just mean something, breaking it down a little bit more simpler. I'll see you guys next week. Bye, y'all. Feels far away. Am I far away? Is it far away? One of us is far away. It's not me, it's you. This looks like I'm in a haunted movie. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, yeah. I'd rather not have it. Die. Ah! Oh, it unplugged. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, there we go. Much better. Okay. Yeah, there we go. We're back. We're back. If it's your first time, if you it's so cute. It's so cute. It's so cute. This is addictive. Oh, we should just and we have the whole backside to feel like, oh, that's gonna be fun. This could be our tote bag. It's the AllBrands show after hours tote bag, or behind the scenes. All of us, all of our tote bags. This is going to be adorable.